Welcome to the Service Industry Podcast. I've spent the last decade as a CEO, operator, and business builder selling tens of millions of dollars in products and services. I, just like many of you, started with nothing. My mission for this podcast is to help you become the greatest version of yourself, help you grow and scale your business, and create the life you've always dreamed of. I'm your host, Matt Smith. Enjoy the episode. What's going on, guys? Matt here from the Service Industry Podcast. Hope everybody's doing well. Episode number 270, which is insane. Happy New Year. I'm recording this on New Year's Day, and I thought this would be an appropriate time for this conversation and this topic that we're going to be talking about today. I think you'll find it valuable. I hope it's encouraging. I hope that it brings some clarity. It gives you permission to kind of decide the direction that you want your business to go. And yeah, so I hope everybody's doing well. Hope you guys had a great New Year's Eve and a safe one. Before we dive in, you guys know I own ServiceIndustryCoach.com. We are a print marketing agency for home service businesses. So everything print marketing related, direct mail, yard signs, business cards, door hangers, you name it, we do it. We work with hundreds of home service businesses across the country. And I always put a link in the show notes, or you can go to ServiceIndustryCoach.com. And if you'd like to work with me one-on-one for doing one-on-one coaching, you can find it there as well. So I thought this would be an appropriate talk today. And I think I've had this conversation on here similar before, but I thought what better time than now, especially because I've been seeing just, you guys know how it is on the first, of the new year, everybody's talking about how their 2025 was either good or it was bad. It was challenging. It was rewarding, whatever the case was for each person, right? Everyone's posting their pictures and whatever. And today I saw a friend of mine, he posted on his Facebook page and he was talking to business owners. And he was basically saying that bigger is not always better. You guys, building a bigger business is not always better. And, his business is kind of more of an owner-operator style, which is cool. And I was just thinking about that message today because I think, I've been an entrepreneur now since, 2012. We'll call it 12, 13, 14 years. Long effing time, man, aging myself here. And I've went through seasons in my businesses that have shifted my beliefs over time. And the longer I'm in business, the more concrete certain beliefs get, and other beliefs that I had when I was younger completely get ruled out. And so it would be silly for me to believe that maybe everything of that I'm saying today, I'll believe 100% 10 years from now. But the longer I'm in business, the more concrete these beliefs get. And so I want to share them with you guys because I think, from my opinion, right, and this is just my opinion, this whole podcast is just my opinion. But from my opinion, I think that this is a pretty concrete way to think, okay? It's a pretty safe way to think, and honestly, it served me really well, especially over the last 5 years. And anyway, so my friend's posting today and just basically saying, hey, business owners, bigger is not always better. We're in a new year. Everybody's goal setting. The gurus are trying to tell you to do this and to do that. And he's not wrong. The internet nowadays, you guys hear me say this all the time. It's all opinions, and they're coming at you from a million different directions. And they are essentially, without us even knowing it, shifting the way that we think about our own goals and our own life. And sometimes it makes us feel behind and like we're not shooting for big enough things and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, all of it's just BS because they're not your goals. That's not your highlight reel, right? And so what he was saying was just hey, stop listening to the gurus. Building a small business is fine. Or growing really slow is fine. And he's not wrong. However, it's dangerous to put any kind of information like that out there because that's from his point of view, okay? And everybody's life and goals are completely different. So for me to tell somebody they should grow a really big business, or for me to tell somebody they should have an owner-operator type model is completely out of line. Because the truth is, is I don't know the person's life that's reading the post, right? And so I just wanted to dive into this a little bit today because I'm just really tired of people, like, as we post online, don't listen to the gurus while giving business advice, right? It's a little hypocritical. And trust me, rock solid guy. I love him to death. I'm just using this as an example because I saw it today. But it's a little hypocritical because we can't say, hey, don't take this other guy's advice who maybe I don't think is a great business guy, but you should take mine. Well, who do I listen to? Do I listen to the guy that's telling me to stay small? Do I listen to the guy that's telling me to grow big? Do I listen to the guy that tells me to spend lots of money on marketing and scale the business and get lots of employees and trucks and blah? Or do I listen to the guy that says, grow slow and be an owner-operator and you don't have to deal with employees and blah, 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 blah? Who do I listen to? There's so much noise out there. And I think sometimes it gets overwhelming. And one thing, as I get older, still not that old, guys. I'm only 36, but I'm getting older. As I get older, I just start to realize that the younger version of myself was chasing goals that were not mine. Okay, I talked about this a couple podcasts ago. But as I get older, I start to really dial in, like really specifics in my life and my business, dial in what it is that I want. What is the life that I want? And then all I have to do is say, cool, what does that life cost me every year? From a financial point, what does it cost me to live that life? Great. What does my business have to look like in order to afford me the life that I want? Okay. And this is why it gets so complicated because some guys might be like, Matt, dude, I want a 6,000 square foot house. I want to live on the lake. I want to have a McLaren. I want to go out to eat at the nicest restaurants. I want nice stuff. I like watches, right? Nothing wrong with any of that, by the way. Okay. I'm a car guy. I like cars. But then on the opposite side, there's some dudes out there I talk to that they're just like, dude, I just want to live a simple life. 1,500 square foot house, paid for, driving normal cars, right? Hanging out with my kids. Like, I want to optimize for time, but I also don't want to be dead broke, so I want a little bit of both. Cool. Let's reverse engineer that. What does the business have to look like to support that kind of life? And that's a completely different business than the one I was just talking about with the guy that wants the McLaren and the big house. You know what I mean? And then I talk to guys that are like, dude, I don't want any employees. Zero. I just want to do it myself. Okay? I want to be able to take time off when I take time off. I want to make sure the job's done right, blah, 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 blah. Okay? I want to be an owner operator forever. That's what I want. Happy doing a couple $100,000 a year and that I'm good. That's a completely different business than the other two I was just talking about. And so you guys got to stop looking for advice from anybody. Me, people on YouTube, TikTok, other podcasts. Dude, they don't know you. I don't know you. I don't know what you want. I don't know the kind of life you want to live. And if you're sitting here going, well, I don't even know what kind of life I want to live, or I don't even really truly know what I want, you got to start there. Okay? Because you can't set business goals if you don't know what you want your personal life to look like. Right? You can't do it. Because the business that you're building should be built around the lifestyle that you want to live. So for me to go and make a podcast episode and say you guys should grow as big as possible, that would be very irresponsible of me. But on the opposite side, for me to go and tell you, you guys should start small, you should build slow, blah, blah, that would be irresponsible of me too. Because one isn't right and one isn't wrong. When I was younger, I used to think like everybody should go 1,000 miles an hour. And that was wrong. It just was. Everybody should not go 1,000 miles an hour. But there's people out there that should because their goals require it. The life they want to live require that. Okay? It's a different level of sacrifice. And when I see people post things like you should stay small, it's never from people that are big. Okay? It's never from people that got big. It's always from people that are small. So, of course, that person would give that advice. That's all they know, right? And it's not bad advice, but you've got to understand what it is that you guys want in your life. And so I make this episode today not to tell you to do a certain thing with your business, but to tell you that you need to get really clear, like really, really clear on what it is you want. Like I'm talking specifics. What is the exact type of house you want to live in? Go research what that costs. What kind of car do you and your family want to drive? Go research what that costs. What are your carrying costs on your lifestyle every single year? What does it cost to live your life every single year? Okay, some of you guys are like, man, I want to work like 30 hours a week. Guess what? If you want to work 30 hours a week because you want to hang out with your family and do all that stuff, I'm here for it. But you're not going to do it without a team. Like if you want to be an owner-operator, you can do it, but you're going to be broke because owner-operators only make money when they work, right? And so that guy has to build a team. He just does. Now, if you like put a gun to my head and said, Matt, which one would you say you have to do? I would always say the safest route is building a bigger business with a team. Okay? If you wanted one or the other, it is by far the safest route. Why? Because sometimes life kicks us square in the nuts. And when it kicks you square in the nuts and you fall off a ladder and break your leg, you get in a car accident and get hurt, right? Something happens to a family member and you have to take care of them. Dude, if you're an owner operator, you're not making money. Right? So if I had to choose one or the other, it's always building a team so my business can operate without me, worst case scenario. But it doesn't mean that's what you have to do. And I'll be the last guy to tell you that you should build your business in a specific way. And so I just wanted to make this today because I want to take the pressure off of you to build your business in a way that you think you're supposed to when it might not be your goal. And this is goal setting season, baby. So this is a perfect time to be thinking about this. So before we set our business goals, we have to set our personal goals. What does my personal life want, or what do I want my personal life to look like rather? So like for me, for instance, I know very specifically the type of house I want to live in, the cars I want to drive, what my personal financial income needs to be in order to live the life I want to live. And I don't need a $50 million a year company to do that. I don't. Pretty simple dude. Okay. But I do need to build a decent sized business. And not only that, but like for me, I know that God has given me this tremendous ability to go and make money, to build businesses, to create opportunity for other people. And so for me to just be like, I'm just going to lay low and make $100K a year. Like you guys, like I could live off that if I had to, but I would feel like I was doing a disservice to the potential God has given me. And so not only am I basing it on the life that I want to live, but also like the path that I know God has set me on. So if you have a skill set to build businesses, like that was probably instilled in you. And you should probably pursue that, right? And so I just make this like, you guys, there are no rules. Okay, this is kind of like my whole premise on life. My whole life growing up, I was taught to believe that there was these guidelines and rules that we all must live within. And if you don't live within the rules, then you're grenading your life and everything's going to blow up. Come to find out, that's all bullshit. All of it. There are no rules in life. None. Zero. They're made up. Okay? Society has made up this little box that we're all supposed to live in, and it's a gigantic lie. You setting goals for your business is the exact same way. There are no rules. There is no right or wrong business to build. There is no right or wrong size of business to build. You build the business based on the life that you want to live. Period. Outside of that, nobody's opinion matters. Not mine, nobody's. And when you're clear on the life that you want to live, You get very clear on the business that you want to build or need to build rather. And from there, there's nothing else to talk about. It's all execution. And so hopefully that gives you guys a little clarity, brings you a little relief. Just being transparent, we're going really hard in our roofing business. Like this year coming up is our first full year. We're shooting for $5 million in sales. Why? Because we have a goal to build and sell the business so I don't have to work anymore. So I can spend as much time as humanly possible with my daughter. Okay? So I can have all the things that I want in life so that I can give back and help others. Period. But that's my goal, right? It doesn't have to be the plumber who lives on the street next to me, who's an owner-operator and has been for 25 years. There's nothing wrong with that. But for me, when I read somebody's post that says, most companies that go hard fail, you should stay small, grow slow, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, he's not wrong. Maybe in the aspect that most companies that go hard fail, that's not really a statistic, but he's not wrong that people maybe should go slow. There's definitely people that should. But what about guys like me that want to build and sell in 3 to 5 years? That have the skill set to build an 8-figure business in a 3-year period? That would be bad advice for me. And so that's when you go back to, I don't listen to other people's advice because they don't know the life that I want to live. And you guys should be the exact same way. Okay? I love you guys. I want you to truly live lives that you love. Not lives that other people have told you to live, but the life that you want to live. Like in 2025, dude, I was overwhelmed by gratitude. Like I would just wake up and throughout the day just be like, dude, I am living my dream life. I am free as a bird. I do whatever I want, whenever I want. I never worry about money. I get to hang out with my kid as much as I want. I take her to school and pick her up. And I'm just like, dude, I'm just so grateful. I'm so freaking grateful. But I will say behind all of that was a lot of over a decade of sacrifice. Okay, not just sacrifice in how much I work, because I worked a lot. But sacrifice in how I lived. I lived so far below my means. But it allowed me to save a ton of money that now I can put to work to make me money passively. It allowed me to save a lot of money to launch new businesses, to invest in certain things. And I'm by no means where I want to be, but man, I'm just grateful. And it's because I've just been on this journey of pursuing what I want rather than what everybody else wants for me. Because if you were to ask 10 different people in my life what they would want for me, you would get 10 different answers. And I stopped asking people for advice and questions like that when I realized it. And I just said, dude, when are you just going to take responsibility and truly figure out what it is that you want? And without worrying what other people think, fully go after that. Fully go after that. And so hopefully this helps you guys. Hopefully this will help you goal set, get clear on the year. There's so much that goes into goal setting. But more than anything, I just want to see you guys living the life that you want to live. All right? If you guys need me for anything, one-on-one coaching, print marketing, I want to work with you. Links in the show notes, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Take care.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the podcast. As always, if you need any help marketing your business or want to work with me directly doing one-on-one coaching, visit serviceindustrycoach.com. We'll see you on the next episode.